After lying down also you have to adjust. Sometimes if you understand that you are sliding down, and freedom has to come even in the armpit chest region. You have to find out how you can lift from the back of the armpit to the front of the armpit to have the opening of the chest. And then close the eyes completely. Shoulders have to roll back. Don't lift the shoulders up. And even if you go slightly out of that line, doesn't matter, because it's not necessary that camera has to catch those who are in the front. So you have sufficient place. Both the arms to the sides spread. As is alternate position, you have to adjust your palms in a proper way. It should be on the land of the next person, but it's an empty space between the arm and the trunk. Hands have to come by the side of the trunk and get the place. Now, with this support of the blanket, you have to maintain the lift of the chest from bottom sternum to the top sternum. How you have to lift is not just the sternum you lift, but with the breath, you have to lift that sternum region along with the sides of the chest. Slowly inhale. So that area comes up. Maintaining that lift, slowly exhale. And this thoracic opening is difficult for many people because you avoid the thoracic lift is the fact. And that is why you find it painful, especially horizontal blankets when they are kept. I have to ask you to keep it purposely, because in mid of the pranayama you can lift the thoracic to some extent, but towards the end it becomes difficult as you have to do shavasana at that moment. But it certainly does not mean that you are not supposed to lift the thoracic. That is a wrong idea. Your abdomen descending, thoracic up, accordingly the support for the back of the head. You can fold the blanket extra, roll the blanket extra for your back of the head, so that your head does not remain hanging. Exhale the breath and slowly inhale, so your breath spreads to that area, that room you have created in your thoracic chest. That means first you have created this space in the thoracic chest by lifting it with the folded, with the rolled blankets. Now when you inhale, the breath has to reach every nook and corner of the chest, so your breath takes the shape of the chest as it is lifted or spreading to the side. Slowly inhale. How the bottom ribs support that, how it moves the bottom ribs with widening process to the side. Understand that. And maintaining that lift, slowly exhale the breath. As though the sternum is getting ascended upward. And always one thing, that when you lie down and do your pranayama, of course first part like relaxing everything I have taught. Normal breaths or inhalation, exhalation normal or exhalation longer, I have already said. But when I come to the inhalation deeper, you have to understand this, that since you have to keep yourself in a wakeful state, alert state, but at the same time in a relaxed state, energetic, then this is the inhalation, because still we have not done the pranayama as such, and we are going to do that pranayama. So slowly inhale from the side chest, from side ribs, the opening or spreading to occur, so the breath spreads in that area. Chest is a palatial building for the breath to move from one corner to the other corner. So, know very well, it is not just lifting the chest or elevating the chest, but you have to create a kind of palace for your inhalation breath to move freely in that area to get aerated. Your lungs and chest should get aerated. Slowly inhale and aerate that area with the side rib and side chest up. And having that complete inhalation, maintaining its lift, slowly exhale the breath. The back of the trunk has to feel as though it is coming up from the rolled blanket. So, it does not drop, it is not just relaxation where you drop your chest. So, lift the chest upward or create that horizontal space or intelligence as per requirement there for opening of the chest. Slowly inhale. And slow soft exhalation. The inhaled chest never releases the exhalation breath that easily. When it does not release, there is a time for it. So, after inhalation from back ribs to the front chest, when you open the chest, maintaining that lift, you have to slowly exhale. So, in that exhalation process, the lifted chest does not get dropped suddenly. That means, I spoke about the speed control also when you had your pranayamic sessions. As you continue to do, and at certain time you feel that now the chest does not respond to that opening, because few cycles it opens very well, but then it does not open up or it finds its exertion over there. Is that time where you have to introduce your normal breaths, where that chest will be having the normal breath somewhere at the upper abdominal region to the navel. So, understand that also how the body throws the responsibility on some other area of the body when a set of muscles get tired. In lifting process with the thoracic chest, a set of muscles get tired. As they get tired, then you have to exhale the breath slowly and inhale and exhale in the region where you find the chest is not puffed too much. But first opening is required when it is a question of antar kumbhak, etc. And also know how the breath, inhalation breath has to sort of climb up that rib cage gradually or climb down gradually for the exhalation breath to go out. Both the ends of the bottom ribs, widen it to the side, get used to that. In fact, that should be the shape, though though with the blankets you do not push it up as such, but the freedom comes in that area. Another 1 minute, so you get used to that lift of the chest, rib cage. When we prop that area, the expansion is a little more than what we expect the physiological body to support. But this, for you, for a while it may be the feeling that is over opening overextension or overexpansion. But the imprint with the blanket, though it's a feeling of overextension, the imprint that you receive in the inner chest is quite different, which creates this space, though muscularly you don't push yourself whether you are sitting or lying down for the pranayama sake. That is why introduction of the prop is meant to learn that in which way the freedom comes, and when the freedom comes in those areas, when you sit or this, lie down without the props, the same feel of inner space has to be there. So, imprint is on that space that you create. It is not the blanket roll and having the prop and lifting your chest and getting the expansion. That of course will happen, but to many people this expansion or extension of the thoracic chest is unbearable. When it is unbearable, you should know, it is not that you have to be out from that, but imprint has to be strong when you lie down. And here I remind you of that imprints over there. So, slowly opening the eyes, you have to turn, bring your hands to under trunk and turn yourself to the right side, having that imprint. Be turned to the side, be quiet for a while. And then slowly come up, remove that blanket, and now sit on the blanket, because I do not want that imprint to get vanished when you sit on the blanket, but just arrange the blankets. Now, be relaxed in sitting before we start. Your blankets you arrange 2 or 3 for your seat to get raised. Do not sit in one line, one person towards inner edge, one edge and the other one towards the other edge, so that there is no clashing. If you are facing front, front and back, listen to me. If you are facing this way, whichever you face, that does not matter to me. You have to be on the mat. The one person if goes to that end, the other person comes to this end. So, it is not that one is behind the other. If you are facing inward turning, it is up to you. But screen, when you have to see, better that you remain facing the screen. It is not that you face me, it is the screen. So then when you have to face the screen, similarly you have to watch in that manner, that forward and backward, which will make you to see the screen and you are not just one behind the other. And that also leaves the space for you to have your knees adjusted. Now, first look at your knees, in which level the knees have been placed. If your knees are slightly up, flying, you have to add the blanket for the seat. It is not that the legs have to be sliding down, but if seat is up, you know, what you see is comfort of sitting. It is not the comfort of sitting. If you are a master, I will not say anything. But if you are a learner, why your seat should be up? Because still your lower portion of the body, the area below the navel or mid portion of the chest, navel abdominal area or upper chest region is not having that freedom which is required for the pranayama purpose. If you see Guruji's picture in pranayama book or even light on yoga, the sitting is such that he is not caught anywhere, and you people get caught. Otherwise, the sitting on the height would have not come in the picture at all. But when we see that the other person in front of us is not sitting straight as per requirement, you have to raise the seat up. Because this question comes, oh, we can sit comfortably. It's not the question of comfort. I don't know by a sitting state whether you get comfort or you don't get comfort. I won't think of comfort first. If it gives the comfort, very much fine. But it's not the question of comfort. What I am saying is, your legs has to descend downwards and seat has to get elevated so that your spine is straight. Your physiological body is available to you. More you sit with tallness of the body, every area is like a cloth is there, let us say the shawl is there. If I shrink it, it is small, but when I open it from one end to the other end, it stretches or it stretches, whether vertical or horizontal. That means the thread spreads, the thread of the cloth spreads. So when you sit, that is what is required. One thing, the legs have to be in a restful state. Swastikasana I choose because then it is easier for me to make you to pay attention more to the pranayama. If you sit in Padmasana, I have no objection. But when you sit in Padmasana, your breathing should be easier. You may put Padmasana. We all learn to put Padmasana first. But after putting the Padmasana, rest of the body has to be ready for that freedom which is required for pranayama, or dharana, or dhyana. Having the pain in the legs, shrinkage in the legs, in your legs, and then not allowing the spine to go up, not allowing the spine to get length, that will be wrong. And therefore, swastikasana is chosen for that purpose, because once if you knot, the muscle fibers where they get tightened, I don't know. And that is why that practice is left for you. Sitting in Baddha Konasana or Padmasana, Virasana, I leave it to you. But when I start with swastikasana, the weight of your body is not on that leg. As you put the cross leg of swastikasana, there is no pressure like shin bone pressure or thigh bone pressure on anything, and that is why sitting becomes easier. And you can suppose if you get cramps, immediately you can release that. But when seat is concerned, I say I am very much sure that buttocks has to be higher and thighs, knees has to be slightly low. So as you are seeing now, in Uday's case he has taken more height compared to Gulna's, because Gulna's thighs will be descending, but as Uday's thighs in sitting posture they are not released, he has to have that height. So now you find his thighs are sober, and this idea I gave earlier only, what is the sobriety of the legs. It is not your comfort. The thing is that how you will keep your thigh muscles sober for the pranayama, and that sobriety in the legs and spinal lift or lift of the trunk in your rest of the area, that is important. When you sit tall, your Jalandhara Bandha will be improving in a better way, because then when you bring the chin and if your buttocks are sinking, whole spine will go wrong and Jalandhara Bandha will go wrong. So there is a process where first you learn with vertical sitting and then the horizontal spreading. So for that purpose, since this is the last class, I am asking you to sit in that manner. As you have sat now, sit there with the shoulders trapezius rolling back, and when I say palms by the sides of the buttocks, is meant for that purpose. Why that technique is developed? Because you should be able to have your own, to know that what will be your own length of the body, because what time it collapses is unknown, because you need a special alertness to sit for the pranayama. You are not talking like me. In my case, I talk also, I see what's going wrong, and also in my back of the head the idea that how much I should say. If too much I say, then there is a confusion. So what I pick up to tell you is such that there should not be any confusion in that. So, having known this, sit straight with palms by the side, roll that is Gulnaz is sitting, Uday is putting the hands by the side which you are watching, and lift your back upward, raise the sternum upward and bring your head down from the nape of the neck with a, so that the chin comes in that manner where you do not push the front throat forward, which I corrected all these days on the platform. If you remember Zubin's throat, which was really coming in the way, and later the throat becomes so much passive. Having the head down, your forehead, your temples, eyebrows, eyelids, everything quiet, but spine alert. The spinal alertness is something, it's not that you do it from the brain to have a spinal alertness. The spine itself has to do to have the spinal alertness. Now, those who have specs, just keep the specs down in front of you. Now, having the hands there, for 3 cycles with support of the palms to have inhalation, retention, exhalation. So, I will be taking Antar Kumbhak to build you up so that there is no drop, and that Antar Kumbhak chest, the chest what is required in Antar Kumbhak, you have to have the imprints of rolled blanket on your back of the ribs in Shavasana and connect that action and this action. So, now you are completely out from that supination postures which put you in a relaxed state, but in sitting posture also relaxing does not dropping, but the attention reaching the next step for you to attempt the pranayama. Exhale the breath and slowly inhale, come to the shape of the chest, the lift of the chest, horizontal spreading of the chest, and let the breath touch those inner walls of the chest, having that inner ascendance, and then lifting the chest, maintain that, lifting the sternum, maintain that state, just a question of 5 to 10 seconds, nothing more, and then slowly exhale so the chest does not get dropped. At this point of time, if you hold on for a long time, with the exhalation the chest may get dropped. We do not want the chest to get dropped. So, we are training that body in order to maintain itself in that state or in that position. Inhale and exhale. So, now brain comes back to normalcy, the spine gets rejuvenated for the next lift as is required for the Antar Kumbhak. It is the second cycle now. Exhale the breath, slowly inhale the vast space in such a manner as though the breath is reaching the inner walls of the trunk, because the walls of the trunk are up. You have built up that chest to that level where horizontally and vertically is a palatial building inside. Go to that inner palace and maintaining that lift, slowly exhale the breath. Normal breaths over there. The body remains upright, the freedom is there, but now it is not inner stretches. With the Kumbhak, if you have to accommodate more air inside for the sake of distribution of the energy in the body, you have to open up in that manner or allow the breath to spread in that manner. Now, brain quiet, temples quiet. So, exhale the breath where your brain, temples, mouth cavity, everything is passive, but do not lift the chin up. The chin lock, as I explained to you, from the back of the head coming downward. Do not lift the chin up, chin down, the inner walls of the throat going inward, your eyes, ears, temples meeting that place. After the exhalation breath, slowly inhale. Inhale, lift up the chest, make it palatial from inside, as the new chambers from inside opening, from outer to the inner, find out how many chambers are there in the chest, and having the chin lock be quiet, and exhale just holding there 5 to 10 seconds, I do not want more, as some of them are definitely beginners, normal breaths. and then place your hands on your thighs, because now without the support having that chest opening next 3 cycles. Inhale and exhale. If good opening is coming, do not surrender yourself. On the contrary, do it. Otherwise you will say, oh, I think I am doing more. That doubt should not come to you. Exhale the breath and slowly inhale, having that good lift of the chest, having a lift of the sternum, the rib cage, inner intercostal muscles, having the vast space, and then slowly exhale. Before going to the next cycle, first listen to me, but do not raise the head or do not open the eyes. 2 more cycles you have to still go with. When you inhale and hold that, when you are going to inhale and hold the breath, at that time see that as you have now opened the outer one, yesterday I spoke about something in the inner region of the chest where that emptiness is felt by you, as there is no organic body as such, it is just merely a space. And after when you hold the breath, at that time that area, that empty space from inside has to surface, because it has not got any direction, I may say open to the front, but it is so vast that from inside that lift has to come, which you will be watching in these 2 cycles. Having the head down, exhale the breath, then inhale slowly, lift up with the chest, with the head down. Maintaining that lift, maintaining that sternum lift or inner space from inside, hold that. And then slowly exhale the breath. Normal inhalation, normal exhalation with all that quietness. Some of them still the head is up. Only one clue for the last cycle I can give is, take your index finger into the eardrums and bring the ears downward, which may give you a little more descendance of the head for Jalandhar Bandha. So, when to use what is also a question, where you plug your ears, bring the head down, so straight head or straight neck slightly descends downward and maintain that head position. Even if you take your palms to the back of the head and descend downwards the other day, as I said, I do not mind, because some of you really had a lift of the head rather than have a chin descendance. The chin which has to, bottom of the chin which has to go to the upper area of the sternum did not go. So, have that bending when the spine is absolutely uplifted. Then exhale the breath and slowly inhale, take in, maintaining that lift of the chest, the inner walls of the chest, and balance yourself in such a way that chest is up, legs are down, head is down, and sides of the navel you get a lift, as the sides of the navel supporting the chest. But do not have a physical attempt of it, pulling, pulling, pulling. The elevation, that is what important you have to feel, and then slowly exhale the breath. Because some of you pull it so strongly that physical action takes place. The elevation is important, that has to occur. I introduce you abdomen right now, and next 2 cycles with that, but the head should not be disturbed. So, 6 you have done, another 2, which brings you to the 8 cycles. Inhale and exhale. Bring the eardrums down, bring the forehead down. If somewhere you feel the eyebrows are up, descend with your eyebrows with your fingers, the forehead with fingers, using the fingers so that temple, forehead, eyebrows will not hit you up. And maintaining that state, connect your dorsal spine, central dorsal to the frontal chest but don't overthrow. Exhale the breath and slowly inhale, where the back ribs give a bit curvature to the front chest to open up, as the blanket was rolled to the back chest. Have an inhalation, maintain that lift, having that inner ascendance. See that the chin lock is maintained over there with the chest up. And then slowly, I mean that is up to your timing, lifting the chest, slowly exhale the breath, but overdoing is not permitted. Inner lift of the chest permitted. Exhale and normal breaths. Inhale and exhale quietly. Any overextension, overstretch, if it has happened with the exhalation breath, release the upper chest, so that it does not get hardened, it does not get tightened. And then slowly raise your chin up and head up, and release the legs and be in a quiet state. I am not asking you to change the leg, but remember the leg position when you have to change the leg position. Now release your legs, because I have to now explain. You see, interval for the explanation's sake. Today I will take some digital, and that digital is so preliminary, but you should know. Just let loose the legs, but if I make you to lie down, then you will relax so much, the brain will not be prepared. That is why with Antar Kumbhak I prepared your attention for the breath. First of all, when you have to do the digital pranayama, you should not have long nails, because then you can't keep the tip of the fingers, the top of the, when you keep the fingers like that, this top area will not be available to you, because the nail will cover, nail will be higher than the tips, and obviously you can't keep the fingers on the nose. On instead of the tip of the fingers, the nail will go on the nose. That is why that is not permitted. So, if anybody has got a long nails, should not do when it is a digital pranayama. And that is why when you come to the pranayama classes, you have to cut the nails. If you haven't done, I am sorry, for years together I am saying, and if you do not understand, I can't do anything. And you can never take it for the granted whether I will teach the digital pranayama or I do not teach. It totally depends upon the availability of the time and fitness of yours to do, whether you are eligible to do, all these things are included in it. But since we had the 10 days program, I thought that today a simple thing I will just introduce. Now, what is that simple thing? It's a preliminary actions in your pranayama. More than the pranayama or breathing, is a preliminary actions or preliminary breath required for your digital pranayama. Otherwise, all that gets mixed, still you do not get the breath, you do not understand, then fingering, your sitting posture, which I introduced in the earlier stage, first or second lesson if you remember. I said how you touch make your breath to touch the inner walls of the chest, how you sit, what you do, or with your Bhramari pranayama also to make your nose area, the area behind the nose, how the clarity has to come, all that I explained to you in pranayama. So, when you watch that from very beginning, you will know how I am building up. Now, today it will be something like exercise for you to understand how to approach the digital pranayama. So, when you sit in straight position with all that, like swastikasana I said, spine I said, chest I said, and last I came to Jalandhar Bandha, because in spite of saying the head down, it did not work. So, many a time you have to add those points of Jalandhar Bandha, putting the plugging the ears or taking the hand on the top of the head and bringing it down, a rolling action, the throat going inside, all that has to be there at the background, because I won't expend everything, or I cannot pronounce two sentences at a time. Talking is such, is one after the other. Sentences will go one after the other. Actions has to be such that you have to be quick with your action, and actions are faster than the words. Instead of telling baby, you don't fall, I will come, by that time the baby will run and fall. But action has to be there for mother to go quickly there so that the child does not fall. There is a difference between these two. Because by shouting or talking or loud voice, that helps only there to make that, bring that fear to the child, oh, something I am doing wrong, I should not do, it's dangerous. But I have to explain means these three sentences as a, oh, it's dangerous, oh, I should not go, something may go wrong. Child does not know, he just stops with that fear, my mother is calling me or shouting at me. So, in your case the action should take place in that manner where you will not have this kind of problem, but you go to the right action immediately. Mother runs fast when she knows that now there is some danger, and that is how your action, oh, now I have to do the action, let me not wait for Gita to say that this is something going wrong. Having this at the background of whether Ujjayi cycles or sitting posture or swastikasana or whatever I said, you should remember that, and then when you have to proceed with the nasal pranayama, know very well, we should get used to the finger position or pranayama mudra. And that is why, and in the beginning the pranayama mudra is not done all the time keeping the fingers on the nose. If you keep the fingers throughout on the nose, then fingers all will go wrong, your head position will go wrong, your chest position will go wrong, somewhere chest will fall, the fingers will go wrong, and you find as though the hand struggling there or the fingers struggling there over the nose. That if I have to stop, I have to give a break for your hand. I say, okay, do now with the fingers on the nose, and don't do it now with fingers on the nose, bring your hand down, so no more the fingers you are using on the nose. If that is clear, you will know that how we proceed, and always it happens. If you continue to do Trikonasana for a long time, the Trikonasana goes wrong, because somewhere the body falls, you fail, your intelligence fail, it does not reach everywhere, and then at the end you find the pose is completely wrong. And that is what when Guruji says the quality should be there in such a manner that even if it is a short period, at least that quality should be known to you, to your conscience, that this is the right thing and that is wrong thing. So, how will you know which is right, which is wrong? So, the quality has to be experienced for that purpose, where you know that, oh, this is the limit, but that was correct. So, now I have to build up that correct action, and that is what comes in preliminaries, and that is why when preliminary course is introduced, the asana introduced, there is a preliminary actions introduced in that, what and where you have to reach as a beginner. So, in this now pranayama, you know that you have to use your fingers in pranayama mudra on the nose. Secondly, with fingers on the nostrils, you have to know how you inhale and how you exhale. What you do with the fingers on the nose? Is it placed just for the decoration purpose, or there is a purpose behind that inhalation and exhalation? That means how you have to do that inhalation or exhalation, whatever you do, in which way your body should be having a different intelligence to be in its position, and the finger should be in its position in a right manner, and breath also has to be understood. So, the three factors are quite different: body, then fingers, and then the breath, whichever you do. Then the fourth thing is that your breathing should be such that you should not get tired, your brain should not become heavy. So, the normal breaths that we take, where the fingers are not controlling the nose, nose is not controlled by anything, we just inhale and exhale. And that simple just inhalation and exhalation, whatever happens, that has to be the one which goes in a healthy way into the system. So, you are being protected by any kind of danger that exists over there if you just make a rush. Rushing means there will be a danger. If I suddenly say all these people have to rush out from that small door, there will be clash. The one will push the other one and we do not know what will happen. And that is why we have to wait and see that the door is, as big door is open, we have to go slowly, or we have to enter in such a manner that we do not bang on each other. That is how the breath also should not bang on each other. Having this understanding, I will put a limit to the cycle, but finger, sitting posture, Jalandhar Bandha, your eye position, tip of the nose position, all that you have to learn in this. We have two nostrils and fingers will be used in certain manner, like your right hand. Since this is the right hand, I show, but my finger now cannot bend there. So, last two fingers and the thumb will be touching each other. If I have to show you the what you call positioning, you will be also following. The right hand you have to use in the index finger, that means this middle finger and this index finger, they get rolled in. They will be so stiff that they will come to bang out. You have to roll them in, and last two fingers and the thumb you have to keep it like a banger. The tips of the last two fingers and thumb will touch each other. So, this is bracelet round and this is going inward, and that is how the fingers. So, do that and look at your fingers. If the nails are projecting out, tips will not going on the nose. So, looking at that, keep this index middle finger with your thumb rolling in and last two fingers and the thumb at the tips touching each other. Did you get the view on the, yes? Got it? Are you seeing that? Okay. Then this also should have a space, it should not be tight over there. So, one by one learning the finger, you know the violinist, or when any fingering has to be done on any instrument, it takes long time for the musician to learn just the fingering. You understand? It looks easier for you. Oh, the fingers were kept and the fingers are moving. No. For the musician, correct sound is important. That is why finger pressure, the part of the finger which has to press, the movement of the wrist, all these are important. In that manner, you also in pranayama, the same hand you are using, same mudra you are using, intelligence should increase every time. And to keep that for a long time makes you to go to change the shape, or if this is an asana, which is not asana, it is a mudra. To maintain that mudra or maintain that asana of the fingers will go wrong. So, every time that has to be released and redone for your fingers to reach the nose, one part. Then second part is, as I said, fingers on the nose. Now, you have got right nostril and left nostril. When you touch your nose, nasal bone, there is a, when you move from bottom to the top, there is a bone. If you keep with the fingers to touch and find out where the bone is, the bone has, nose has got half of the part below without bone and half of the part above with the bones, because there is a nasal bone. So, your fingers should go exactly, a tip of the finger should go exactly below the bone, nasal bone, where you keep it in such a way. If I look up, my head comes up. If I look down, my head goes down. So, my finger position changes. I sit straight, I bring the head down, I keep my tip of the fingers below the nasal bone, having that straight lift of the body. You find the nose when you touch with the tip of the finger, anyone, just the fingertips, you will see that nasal bone is slightly round shape and below the nasal bone you have in depth. Slightly it goes inward, and the fingers, as far as the fingers are concerned, that since it has got a tip, that tip exactly goes below the nose to hold it in proper manner. A grip comes on that area. If it's a big shawl, then I have to hold with my whole hand, but if it's just a small part of my cloth I have to hold, I just hold it and take it. I have to see the texture of this cloth, then I just touch with my fingers to find out what kind of texture it is. You do not just hold to find out the texture or have a rough handling. If I have a rough handling on this cloth, then it does not give me any sensitivity, but I just first time when I see, I open it and I just touch. Oh, is it woolen? Is it having a sufficient thickness, warmth? That is how when you watch, similar manner you have to take your fingers on the nose below the nasal bone to have that feel of texture of the tip of the fingers and texture of the skin on the nose. Both are skins, but this texture is different and that texture is different. So, your tip of the fingers have to come in contact with the nose in a proper manner. Meanwhile, when you keep the fingers on the nose and if sinking, I say lift your trunk up, do not lift your head up, have the head down, keep the tip of the fingers below the nasal bone correctly. Why this kind of rushing has to take place? Because when you take the fingers on the nose, the head goes up. And if you have to bring the fingers down after the whatever inhalation or exhalation, your tongue sinks. We have not said that go, descend, go up, descend, then whole body is moving up and down, which should not happen. But intelligence is such, stupid intelligence is such, it makes the body to go down, sink, again it comes upward sometime, suddenly it realizes, oh, I am not straight, let me sit straight. All this stupidity has to stop in pranayama. But in this now is the introduction to the breath. Understand this. The first attempt will be such. You will be having your free nose, that means open nostril. I sit there. This time, that means now at this moment, I am going to experience my exhalation with the fingers on the nostril. If I have to experience my exhalation with the fingers controlling the nose, during my exhalation, I will be witnessing my exhalation. Because still I do not know with fingers on the nose how I will feel my exhalation. So, the feeling has to come to you first. So, this is the right hand. I sit straight with my head down, having a Jalendra Bandha. I inhale with open nostril, so I am not suffocated. Observation is sometimes so strong, it makes you to go inward so deep, and that is why meditation is also such, which makes you to go so deep inside, and then you are lost when you are going deep inside. The awareness is lost, and that is why when Guruji said meditation is not meant for the beginners, he is 100% correct, because if I have to tell how he has faced or corrected those people, or people who are suffering with meditation going in that manner have gone lost their mental balance. But that will be a big story that is right now I cannot say. So, I will just say that you need to do inhalation where you witness your existence, because inhalation brings you life. So, I sit, I inhale, and inhalation makes me to feel that I am there. I should feel that I am here. So, I inhale. I exhale only that much as possible, not more than that. So, what did I do as a beginner? My inhalation exhalation has, I can pay less attention or less of intelligence since it is not very deep. I take inhalation, I feel my presence, then I take the fingers on the nostril below the nasal bone, and then I close my left nostril with these last two fingers. I keep this right nostril slightly open, I do not take out the thumb, I slightly open and exhale from the right nostril. So, what do I learn in this? I learn my inhalation to feel my presence, fearless, and then exhale from one single nostril, that is my right nostril, with left close. So, we learn first close the left, open the right and exhale from the left, and then exhale from the right. So, I make myself sure whether I close correctly my nostril, the left side, and am I exhaling on the right side nostril correctly. And that first does connection between open nostril inhalation and right side exhalation with fingers on the nose. You understand? And fingers at the right place on the nose, and rest of the body sitting in proper position as explained for all these days. Come on, sit straight with feet changing, as earlier I said that you have to remember, and having proper sitting posture. Roll the shoulders back, move the shoulder blades in, your hands on the thighs in a restful state, the fingers just quiet at that time, having the shoulders back, bring your head down from the nape of the neck, be in that position, have few cycles just, because you can't hold the breath until you go for the cycles. You have to just breathe at that time and feel your trunk, feel your head, where the head is down, and then as the hands are on your thighs, bring the hands on your thighs, the palms facing towards the ceiling, that means supination of the palm, which I taught earlier. All these elementary things you have to understand. And sitting state, only it is the right hand, you have to roll your index and middle finger in, keep the tip of the thumb and last two fingers touching each other. Those who have got long nails will not be using their fingers on the nose, as tips will not go. You can't keep rest of the area of the fingers on the nose, as the feel will not be there. Still you are not starting, your hand is down with chest up, sternum up. The fingers will go after the inhalation. After the inhalation, your fingers will go on the nose in order to exhale on the right side. Till that the hand is not raised. So, do not commit that mistake. Till that the hand will not wait, I have not started only, keep the hand down. Now, exhale the breath whatever you have. After the exhalation, inhale. So, go with the Ujjayi inhalation, then take your fingers on the nose, close your left nostril, open the right nostril and exhale on the right gradually. It is a right hand on the nose. After the exhalation, hand is down, you bring the hand again back to the thigh, release the fingers so they are not hard, slowly inhale and exhale so that breath comes to normalcy. Re-raise the spine, do not keep the fingers on the nose, those who do not understand the language, or look into the screen when the hand has been taken down. Then complete the exhalation, now Ujjayi inhalation, slowly inhale, take in, completing that inhalation, raising the chest, raise your right hand on the nose, block the left nostril, exhale on the right. Exhale on the right where the thumb is kept. So, you get used to your right nose, right nostril. After the exhalation, right hand is down, head quiet, spine erect. If you have bent forward, again make your spine straight. From seat to the shoulder, aligned your body, because sinking definitely takes place, which I have done for years, knowing that sinking dropping, all these things do happen, which should not allow to happen. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more like that. After the exhalation, slowly inhale, Ujjayi cycle, fill up your chest nicely for digital pranayama. Having good opening, now take the right hand on the nose, thumb on the right, last two fingers on the left wall of the nose, and slowly exhale the breath on the right nostril. Sit straight, head down while exhaling. And then as the exhalation ends, bring the hand down. So you did 3 cycles on that side. Inhale and exhale. With the hand down, inhale and exhale. No more the fingers remain on the nose. I am teaching beginners. I am not teaching those who are advanced. But advanced teachers have to understand how it has to be taught to make a beginning with it. Now raise the head up, sit straight with the sternum chest up, readjust your seat if you want to. We dealt with the right nostril with the fingers on the nose. Now this is the left nostril, but hand will be the same. So we learn how to do with the last 2 fingers. So I take, fingers on the nose, I keep it below the nasal bone, and now these last 2 fingers have to show intelligence on the left nostril, so that the exhalation breath does not occur suddenly, and normally the little finger which wants to run away from the nose, keep it in contact with the nose, that is wall of the nose. So this is outer wall of the nose, where that little finger should be in contact with the wall of the nose, and you have to shape these fingers to be in this on this nose which has got that curvature. So now will be inhalation with Ujjayi inhalations, fingers on the nose, and exhalation happening on the left nostril, where you will be exhaling that breath from the left nostril right close. Beginners have to have that memory, oh my right will be closed and left will be doing the exhalation. Is it clear? Okay, now sit straight with shoulders back, your palms turned up, your back ribs in. Bring your head down from the nape of the neck, keep your chest up, keep your right hand ready on the thigh, the middle finger and index finger rolling in, last 2 fingers and tip of the thumb touching each other. Now I begin my inhalation, begin your inhalation, inhale slowly with the eyes on the chest. As you continue, go with the inhalation. When inhalation stops, maintaining that lift, take the fingers on the nose, thumb closing your right and only left exhaling properly. Exhale on the left nostril. After that exhalation on the left nostril, when it ends, bring the hand down and then slowly inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Why? Because you have to fill up the chest. I do not want you to go to that fearful state where the body shakes, where your inhalation suffers, suffocation happens. We are not supposed to allow this suffocation to happen. And youngsters are there, they have to know this. You should not get suffocated. Inhale and exhale. Shoulders back, meanwhile adjust yourself, sit tall, maintain the lift of the chest, opening of the chest, raising the sternum region, then hands on the thighs apart so that your palms do not come closer to each other, right hand on the right thigh, left hand on the left thigh, because some of them do not keep it like that. And now after the exhalation, inhale Ujjayi cycles with a good lift of the chest, opening of the chest, then take the fingers on the nostril and right is closed for the exhalation passage to open. So exhale from the left nostril slowly. After the exhalation on the left, you have to bring the hand down and have Ujjayi cycles, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, so that you recover, you correct your posture, you maintain that lift, You have that good ascendance. And last third cycle on the left nostril. So, have a deep inhalation, uprightness is important, lifting of the chest is important, opening the chest, then after the inhalation take the fingers on the nose and exhale slowly on the left nostril, thumb closing the right. Is the left hand, right hand only going on the nose. Who is doing with the left hand here? You can't play any tricks there. I said only the right hand, only the right hand going to the nose. And then hand down. It's only those who have got problem with the right hand is a different matter. But all of you, I never say that take your left hand to the nose. Inhale and exhale. Third cycle over. One more. Exhale the breath, slowly inhale, raising the chest. Now take the right hand to the nose, block your right nostril and exhale on the left nostril. So exhalation takes place with the left nose. At least that must be sure. You have to inhale with open nostril and you exhale with that nostril which was said to you. 3 on the right I said, 3 on the left. Then hand down, inhale and exhale quietly. Then raise your head upward, raise your head upward. I don't like if you do the mistake. I don't like if you misbehave, understand. Yoga is a misbehavior. When I never said that take the left hand up, why did you take the left hand up? Don't misbehave yourself. Shoulders back, opening the chest. Inhale and exhale. Now, as your head is up now, look at that. Now, we did some exhalations with the fingers on the nostril. Now, we have to learn with the fingers on the nostril the inhalation. It's a starting. It's not that you learnt everything. There are still quite a few points which you have to do, but I won't introduce it today. If you learn this much, that is enough for today's, so that those who are coming first time, those who are doing, those who have never done the digital pranayama, for those this first lesson is sufficient. And that is why please understand, you have to sit straight, your head will be down. Now the fingers will go on the nose for the sake of inhalation. So your inhalation is controlled. I sit there, I take the same right hand up on the nose, I keep it below the nasal bone, close the left, open the right partly and inhale with the right side, so that inhalation happens on the right nostril. I inhale and then hand down and I will be exhaling. I exhale with open nostril, because when your tip of the fingers go on the nose and you inhale from the nose, the feel of suffocation is more, because controlled inhalation, and that is why first non-controlled inhalation like Ujjayi, that was first part was. In second part, whether I can face the controlled inhalation. In case I am not able to face it, like bronchitis, asthma, undone or never done, all these problems when they are there, I choose my inhalation now for that purpose and see what inhalation I can manage. I will not force my head, I will not hold my brain tight, I will be passive on the brain. After the inhalation, I slowly bring my hand down and exhale slowly with my nostril, so that my brain is quiet. So, no damage occurs in my brain cells, because inhalation will be always short. You will not have a deep inhalation. If you have done, that is a different story, then I have to explain on different level. But when you have not done, then inhalation is not that easy. So, now sitting state, 2 cycles on the right nostrils with inhalation on the right nostril, but 2 cycles with my demand. You will be doing normal breath in between, where you will be coming back to normalcy. So, sit straight, shoulders back, bring your head down from the nape of the neck, quieten the throat, head is down now, Jalandhar Bandha. If the head is refusing, take your fingers on the top of the head and bring it down so that it listens to you and remain descending downward. Now, exhale the breath whatever is possible, then have the fingers on the nose, close the left, open the right, and then slowly inhale on the right nostril whatever is possible. Do not push that, pull that breath to the brain. Inhale and bring the hand down and slowly exhale the breath. Junko, that is why I do not like you, yesterday I said. Very clear, very clear. Exhale the breath, inhale and exhale. I have never said anybody that I do not like you people. But I have to say this because you show off yourself more. Inhale and exhale. Since we have to have the fingers on the nose, first, wait, the hand down. You have to have a good inhalation, Ujjayi, and exhale the breath. After exhalation, take the fingers on the nose. Good Ujjayi. Exhale the breath, fingers on the nose, and now inhale on that right nostril once again. With the thumb, not to bring it out from the nose, touch the tip of the thumb to the below the bone area, and after that inhalation, hand is down and you have to exhale, so that your shoulder, your upper chest should not clinch your neck, because you pull the breath, which is wrong. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. In the similar manner, the last remain where you have to deal with the left nostril, where the right is closed with the thumb and last 2 fingers on the left will be attending inhalation to have a feel of it. How do I inhale when the fingers are on the nose? And what I said now, because that Junko made such a rushing, you have to first exhale the breath before taking the fingers on the nose. You have to exhale the breath, you have to inhale the breath, so the chest is full, and that becomes the background for the digital inhalation. After the inhalation full with Ujjayi, hand is down and you inhale from the left nostril for the sake of inhalation, and then only you exhale with open nostrils, if you understand. Now, take the hands down, be in quiet position, exhale the breath, slowly inhale, that is Ujjayi cycle, inhale with Ujjayi, having the chest up, bring exhale the breath. Now, take the fingers on the nose and inhale on the left nostril, inhale from the left nostril. After inhalation on the left nostril, you have to bring your head down as inhalation gets over, or if head begins to go up, and then exhale the breath slowly. After the exhalation, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, and after that exhalation, now do not take the fingers on the nose. You will be having Ujjayi inhalation, so slowly inhale and check how much inhalation happens. After completing that inhalation, slowly exhale. After that exhalation, this background at the back, take the fingers on the nose and inhale from the left nostril. Ujjayi cycles teach you so many things which you are supposed to understand. And after that inhalation on the left nostril, hand down and slowly exhale the breath. Whatever happens in Ujjayi, you are supposed to bring it here with that inner intelligence, and that is why that Ujjayi remains as a background for everyone. You can't make any rush over here. And slowly Raise the head up, raise the chin up, release the legs and lie down on the plain mat for a while so that you come back to normalcy. You know, many times many teachers are there, they just do not want to follow, they want to just come to attend Pune, they are not bothered about the teachers, they never respected. They never respected the teachers. And that is why they go on their own way. Alternate Shavasana. So you have got space for your arms. Let go yourself. Let go the body now. Brain absolutely quiet and silent. Don't create unnecessarily any kind of movement in the brain. Facial muscles, facial skin, everything passive. In fact, a time has to come after finishing everything, just forget whatever happened. I mean, whatever you did, you haven't, that has to go to background. Forget about it. Later you can think about it or bring it back to the memory. But at this point of time, don't even think about it, let go yourself. Let go with the fingers, let go with the arms. Everything quiet, everything passive. The body just receding quietly. No rushing of the mind, no rushing of the breath. let go completely yourself. Having that freedom. Slowly open the eyes. Bring your palms on your chest, on your trunk, wherever it can be in a restful state. Then slowly turn yourself to the side. Then be seated on that height, adjusting yourself correctly. As the session comes to the end, as the 10 days program comes to the end, if you have learned something, if you have understood something, we have to praise the Lord. The cosmic intelligence is like that. If something comes, we have to thank that God which comes as a knowledge from that cosmic energy or cosmic intelligence. Both the words are used because that cosmic intelligence or cosmic energy is the jnana and prana both, which reaches us, a kind of connection, connecting wire between the Lord and the practitioner who is on this earth. So, our prana or our jivatma is connected with that Lord through this cosmic energy which is explained as a Mula Prakriti inside, having its own existence in the form of Mahat. So, we have to connect ourselves to the Lord with this. It is not simple wire, but it is the space, and that space we have to connect with ourselves so that the Lord blesses us with that power which He has. That means He has that all power which Patanjali says as Sarvagnya Bija, the seed of complete jnana in Him, and we have to develop from our side that wire a kind of vastness to receive the, or openness to receive the knowledge from inside, the purity that we have to bring from inside to connect ourselves to with the Lord. We are impure, that is why we cannot connect. If we purify ourselves, and Patanjali uses the word, the lessening of impurities, ashuddhikshaya. Why you do yoga? For ashuddhikshaya. That means whatever impurities we have to remove those layers of impurities. So, purity surfaces, the knowledge surfaces with the purity. If that surfaces, that is the wire which can connect us to the cosmic energy, cosmic intelligence to reach towards the Lord. And that is the final state where Jivatma becomes one with the Paramatma. Paramatma does not become one with the Jivatma, it is none of his business. Purity, highest purity is there. It is we have to purify ourselves to reach that Lord who seems to be far away from us as we can't see. But he is everywhere in that sense, but connecting wire is that which is called as cosmic energy, Mahat, or cosmic intelligence. In English, when you do not understand Sanskrit, we have to translate it in English, and that is why I use the word cosmic energy or cosmic intelligence. And that is what we have to understand. We have to raise ourselves to that level so that we can receive that. We can't say that I will be sitting in my position and you come to me. Never it will happen. So having this in mind, as we are coming to the concluding part, we will offer the prayers to Lord Patanjali, and that's why all of you be alert, all of you be seated straight, fold the palms in front of your chest, close your eyes completely, have cycles of breath, energize yourself to reach that energy which is a divine energy. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचाम्
योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचाम्
मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन
मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन
योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनाम्
योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनाम्
पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि
पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि
आबाहुपुरुषाकारम्
आबाहुपुरुषाकारम्
शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम्
शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम्
सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं
सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं
प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम्
प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु
गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः
गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः
गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म
गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
सहनाववतु
सहना भवतु
सहनौर्भुनक्तु
सहनौर्भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
मा विद्विषावहै
मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ
ॐ
शान्तिः
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 हरिः ॐ
हरिः ॐ
Bow down to Lord Patanjali, bow down to Guruji, as he has given us the knowledge. And bring the hands down and slowly raise the head up and open the eyes. I ask the volunteers or announcer to come up. Namaskar.